one of them just started like getting up and just started screaming at some of the guys, just being like, "Oi, show us your socks!" And we're like, "What? Did he just?" And then they all join in on it too. And then this was like during I think it was the second match or something, but the next match was Ricky South versus Michael Spencer, and they just start screaming for it. And then Spencer tries to take Ricky's boot off to try and show him his socks because Ricky's being like, "No, I'm not going to show you it." And then at the end of the match, Ricky wins and he starts undoing his boot. And I'm like, "Oh no, he gets the boot off." I've never heard a crowd pop that loudly. Like it wasn't a massive crowd, but it
Yeah.
sounded like there was 10,000 people there from the moment he
Really?
took his boot off and showed the sock because they were just obsessed with it.
But were these guys, like, being a nuisance at the show, or were they just, like,
Like,
excited?
it was like, it kinda seemed like it was leaning towards, like, nuisance, but they were so into everything that it was like, "You know what? They're having fun with it. Let's go." Like, they're making noise. The rest of the crowd's gonna make some noise too. Fuck it. Let's fuel it. It's a fun show. The camera's not on. Let's have some fun. Let's have some banter with these guys. And, they were all cool. They never want, I always worry about stuff like that where like, oh, are they going to try and egg up? Are they going to try and get into the ring? But they weren't like that. And I'm glad that they weren't like that. They were on the beers, but they were, respectfully on the beers.
Yeah, like, I feel like those are the coolest crowds to be in front of, like,
Yeah.
where people get that excited and, like, they start you can have banter with them and stuff, but I think
Yeah.
there's always a fine line. Like, I've been at working on some shows where I've sat there and
Yeah.
gone like, "All right, is this gonna start to be an issue? Like, is this
Yeah.
person's creeping closer to the ring or, like, whatever it may be?"
Yeah.
But I think you just gotta have faith in security for of the
Yeah.
venues a lot of times, you know?
Oh, yeah. Like that, you hope that a lot of people aren't going to be like that. And I'm glad that nowadays, anyway, it doesn't seem like that happens. I remember, I want to say it was it was either my first or second year. It was up in Newey. It was Juan Direction versus Ricky South, Big Fudge, and Concrete Davidson. So it's a
Yeah.
6-man tag, including the fourth Juan member who's on the outside and me in the ring. That's 8 people involved in this match. And
That's
so
fucking
some guy jumps the barricade and gets in the ring. And the best part was it was at the moment that Fudge tagged Concrete in. So he tags him in, and this guy slides in, and Concrete, you can see if there's still footage of it. He goes for like a clothesline, and as
yeah.
he's going for it, he's like, "Wait a minute, this isn't one of the Juan members." And it's just like, oh shit. So then all of us are just like, what the fuck, get the fucking guy out of here. And it was like, it's the only time that's ever happened to me while I've been a referee. But like that experience is so chaotic. It's so weird. Just like
Like,
having someone rush the ring.
I feel like if you're the sort of person who goes to a wrestling show and thinks it's okay to go and jump in the ring or try and, like,
Yeah.
assault one of the, like, wrestlers
Yeah.
or performers of that show, then you probably shouldn't be watching wrestling. You don't have
You
the mental
shouldn't be there.
capacity
No.
for, you know what I mean? Like, you don't understand what you were seeing. And I
Yeah.
think,
There's
you know what
absolutely
I mean?
no reason that you should be there.
Because you look at a lot of the, like, people that have done it, on, like, a large scale, and it's like it's the same with streakers. It's like, okay, like, why? You just want attention? Like, okay, good for you. Like, now fuck off.
Like
Like that.
honestly, yeah.
Yeah, but I think for a lot of the times, for the people that do, like, who go to wrestling shows and do that sort of stuff, like, you see them and it's like, oh, they're not really mentally with it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because I don't think a sane person would go and do that shit.
Well, you would hope a sane person wouldn't go and do that shit. Like,
Well, I mean, well, put it this
look,
way, would it, like, a sane person wouldn't jump up on a fucking Broadway stage or a fucking
yeah,
dance,
like absolutely. Like people think that wrestling is different, and it's not. It so isn't. It's still this performance. It's still, something that's happening on a stage. It's just that our stage is, a ring with 4 sides, 3 ropes. It's just different. It's a different type of performance that's happening. And the fact that people don't treat it the same way, or at least treat it with the same amount of respect, is something that it always annoys me. They think of it as different. They're like, "Oh, wrestling's fucking bullshit. No, why do you believe that stuff?" And it's like, and then they go and they get so invested in things like Game of Thrones and whatnot. And it's like, isn't that, the same thing? You're getting invested, you're getting a tattoo of it on you. You love this thing. Why can't I do that for wrestling?